Start the recording here. Thank you so much for coming this afternoon. We are so excited with the program that we have today. We are celebrating Geisinger's Bold ERG Women's History Month. Black Women's Health Matters. And very excited about the committee that assisted with creating this. Very excited. We want to give a special thanks to our executive board members, Dr. McBride, Mr. Breeze, Mrs. Fisher, Mr. Lieberman, and Mrs. Antle. We cannot do this without the support and approval of our boards. We want to thank them. We want to thank our marketing team as well because they've created a wonderful website as well as the flyer. So thank you. My name is Dr. Vicki T. Sapp. I am the co-chair of the Black Outreach Leadership Development Employee Resource Group, and I want to welcome you all this afternoon for this program. We put on a number of programs for Women History Month, and we have a few more next week, and we are so excited. We actually have one more next week for our closing ceremony. So if you're interested in attending any of these events, please make sure that you register on the website, and we'll put that link in. We have our Black Outreach Leadership Development Employee Resource Group. We focus on Africans in the diaspora. So we do a programmatic initiatives. We do professional development. We assist with recruitment. We assist with onboarding. We have a welcome booklet that we created and we're so excited. We have subcommittees that we have to make sure that we offer wraparound services to our Black employees. We also have allies who serve on the employee resource group. So if you are an ally of any race and you're interested in focusing on Black and Africans in the diaspora, please feel free to join us. Everyone is welcome. If you decide to join us, we want you to know that we're going to focus on Black people in a number of different social, housing, employment, economics, and healthcare. That's what we do. We have our community partners, which are the Black Scranton Project, and we've done a number of initiatives with them this month, as well as last month, and we're going to continue to do events with them. We have Bold here, and myself and Dr. McBride are the contact individuals if you are interested in being part of Bold. We have our Woman Lead Employee Resource Group. The contact is there, Amy Bradford. We have our G Pride, which is Dr. Davis. We have our Vet Net, which is Chris Grill, Ron Bear. We have GAIN, which is our accessibility employee resource group, and we have Wendy Marshall, Paul Summer, and Robert Rogers. And so if you are interested in joining any of these employee resource groups, please reach out to these individuals and let them know that you're interested in working with them. And I'm so sorry for the Woman Lead, my box is Karen Murphy, Dr. Murphy. You can contact her as well. My boxes were hiding her there. But you can contact any of these individuals if you are interested in being part of these employee resource groups. And all of them are open to all of the employees at Geisinger. Okay, we have about 30,000 employees, so we have something for everyone. And if we don't, talk to human resources and we can start something. That's so important for people to understand that having a sense of diversity, inclusion, and a sense of belonging is very important, even at work. We do a lot of that in higher education, but we have to also pay attention that the workplace that is an environment that we spend a lot of time in. And so having these affinity groups are very important. And I also wanted to list these here because we're going to be working with each of these affinity groups, because when we talk about Black people are represented in all of these affinity groups. This month we partnered with Women Lead. We're going to be partnering with G Pride in October. We're going to also be partnering with VetNet in November, and also GAIN, the accessibility ERG, in October as well, when we recognize those different target months, right, for those groups. We also have our mugs that we're giving away. And these are our winners from yesterday, actually, just happened yesterday. We are giving away 5 mugs. Only 4 people signed up and they won the mugs. They pretty much by default. So if you are interested in a mug, you need to sign up. I'll put that link in the box in just a minute. I'll put it in the chat box, but we have a number of different mugs. You select which one you're interested in. They are all focused on Black Africans in the diaspora, right? And you can actually scan this code, right? If you have that, and I'll still put the link in the chat, but if you have your phone and you have a scanner, scan the code, put your name down, and then I'll run the raffle after this. So these are some very nice mugs. And I'm going to be on campus tomorrow. I work on campus tomorrow. So I'm going to mail out all those face masks. And I know we did face masks for February, and I didn't get most of those out because some of you were winning 2 and 3 and 4. So I said, well, I might as well wait until the end of the month to send these to folks, um, being that you're winning multiple ones. I'm not going to the post office and mailing them out twice and 3 times. So I have all of the collection of those, and I will make sure you get your mask, your face mask from February, and I'll make sure you get your mug. And I'm going to do all of that tomorrow when I go on campus, just so you know. All right, so I am going to turn it over to Grace, our MBS student, and she is going to introduce our Black Excellence in Medicine Untold Stories. And I started this series because when I watched Black Men in White Coats, I noticed that when we begin to do the statistics of how many Black men are in medicine, 2%. That's it, 2% of doctors who are Black. When we talk males in Black, when we talk about women, it's 4%. That's still a very low number. And so what I was inspired to do is to begin a Black Excellence in Medicine Untold Stories, right? And just the simple fact that they received their medical degree is celebration enough. And also to recognize that only 1% of the US population, which is about 12 million people, have a doctorate degree, a terminal degree. And I need people to understand that, right? 1% of the US population who are Black have a terminal degree, a doctorate degree. And that's very important for us to recognize. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Grace. Grace? Oh, I forgot to show the ones from the last month. Sorry about that. Let me just do this real quick, show these. We've featured these individuals, have you look at them, see who they are, know who they are. After we're done with the series, we're going to put this on the website so that you all can have access to these phenomenal women. And now, Grace, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Hello, everybody. My name is Grace Tioku, and I'm an MBS student at Gonzaga Commonwealth School of Medicine. It's with great pleasure to introduce these 2 spotlights today. So first, I'm going to start off with Dr. Loretta Jackson Williams. Dr. Loretta Jackson Williams grew up in Indianola, Mississippi, where she attended Gertie High School. In 1987, she graduated from Tuvalu College with a degree in chemistry. While in college, she intimately worked as a substitute teacher in her local public school system. In 1994, she completed her studies at Boston University School of Medicine in Boston, Massachusetts, with a doctorate in biochemistry and a medical degree. Jackson Williams has been a member of the School of Medicine curriculum community since 2000 and has served as its chair since 2008. During that same year, she joined the administrative team of the School of Medicine as assistant dean for academic affairs. In 2009, she was named associate dean for academic affairs. In 2015, her responsibilities were expanded when she was named vice dean for medical education. She is committed to delivering an exponential education program to produce competent, capable, and compassionate physicians. Next slide, please. And next we have Dr. Alicia Moore. Dr. Alicia Moore is an American physician and senior administrator to Baylor College of Medicine. Moreau was born in Indianapolis to a mother who was a beautician while her father worked in the U.S. Postal Service. She said her inspiration came from her childhood pediatrician and African American woman who mentored her throughout her time at high school. She lost her mother to Hodgkin's disease and her father to lung disease. Monroe earned her bachelor's degree at Brown University in 1973 and studied medicine at the Indiana University School of Medicine. While in medical school, she was named Outstanding Medical Student of the Year. Monroe joined Alfred Medical School at Brown University. She was named Assistant Dean for Minority Affairs in 1996, and in 2007, she was made Associate Dean for Diversity within the Diversion of Biology and Medicine. Her research considered ways to improve physician-patient communication. It's been an honor to present these two women as I too aspire to become a physician in the near future. And now I will pass it on to Gabriella to introduce our guest speaker for today.
Gabriella, are you there?
I'm trying today. Can you guys hear
Okay, wonderful.
me? You can hear me. Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Gabriela Rodriguez. I go by Gabby. I'm a first year medical student here at Geisinger Commonwealth School of Medicine. It is a great pleasure and honor that I present us today's speaker, Mrs. Sharon Stanford. With over 27 years of experience in higher education administration in the University of Buffalo, Sharon Stanford is an associate athletic director by trade, but her passion is inspiring, mentoring, and pouring into the lives of others. A member of the athletic executive team, Sharon is responsible for managing the campus recreation department, servicing over 29,000 students, faculty, staff, and community members. Sharon is also the sport administrator for the women's swimming and diving team and serves on numerous committees on campus and in the community. Stanford has humbly received many awards and recognitions, including the Neil Jackson Administrator of the Year and CAO Education Task Force Member of the Year. However, her greatest accomplishment and joy is being a wife and mother to three amazing sons. Sharon found her purpose after being diagnosed with breast cancer in 2017. Her unexpected diagnosis and healing journey inspired her to start the Sadie Strong, a nonprofit 501c3 charitable organization that encourages healthy lifestyle and offers a variety of programs and services that provide awareness, information, support, and empowerment to women affected by breast cancer. During her healing journey, Sharon adopted the mantra, "You have been assigned this mountain to show others that it can be moved." And she has been moving mountains ever since. Sharon Stanford is a model and living life with passion and purpose. She inspires people to push past their pain, tap into their power, and realize the joys of life. I personally want to tell you that we thank you, that we're inspired by you, that you are a living proof that when we have something in our heart and we follow through, we can make it. I was a swimmer and a diver while in college, and my grandmother was um, diagnosed with breast cancer about 10 years ago. Unfortunately, it was a late stage and she had to have a mastectomy. So I do understand that it's not a one person diagnosis, but a family diagnosis. So I want to commend you for taking that as an inspiration to help other family and other women. And just to tell you that as a woman of color myself, I'm so inspired to see the things in the mountains that you get moving. So I hope one day I could do the same, just like you. So thank you so much for being here with us.
Wow. All I can say is, wow, just the introduction for me has brought tears kind of like to my eyes. I had to kind of get it together. Gabby, thank you so much. And thank you for the kind words that you shared. I
Had me looking for tissue.
have to have my tissue with me because
That was wonderful.
that was wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that introduction. That was amazing. My name, like she said, is actually pronounced Sharon Sanford, and I am going to talk today briefly about turning your pain into purpose. So today, there's going to be three areas that we're going to discuss. One, I'm going to share my story and the story of Sadie Strong. We're going to talk about pain and purpose. And then we're going to talk about your story. So if you have a story that you'd like to share, just think about that as we go through this presentation. What I know is that we all have a story. Our story may shift and morph. It can be a chapter here. It can change into a trilogy there, but we all have a story. So we want to really begin to understand that and tap into that. So my story is going to start basically in 2017 when I turned 50 years old. In March, I had this amazing birthday celebration. It was full of everyone that I loved. We had a Coming to America theme with African dancers and my nephew singing, "She's your queen to be." It was an amazing extravaganza, and it carried me throughout that year. I was so excited about turning 50 and fabulous. And so when October came, I'm just doing my normal routine mammogram, and there was an issue. And so on October 30th, I received a diagnosis that shocked my whole world. I received a diagnosis that I had breast cancer that had moved to my lymph nodes. When the woman called me on the phone, I didn't even understand what she was saying. It was almost like you watch TV sometime and the person is talking and they become muted. And then in your mind, you begin to hear all of those thoughts that are going on in your head. So while she's talking to me, all I could hear were like, what is going on? What am I going to do? Am I going to die? All of these questions. What about my kids? All of these questions that just kept going on and on in my mind. But the first thing that I did was I said, God, help me. Help me, God, because I realized, and you have to understand that I come from a place of faith. Like I believe in God, and I knew that God had to be my first option and not my last resort. So I sought God, please help me through this. Then I had to tell my husband, and the first thing that he said to me was, he said, well, we have to go to grandmother's house and pray right now. Because we both knew that there is power in prayer. You know, when life throws you these challenges, you have to have a faith to believe that I can make it through. The next thing we did as we were on the way to grandmother's house, I had to call my parents because I wanted to make sure that they were aware. This was a major situation in my life. So I called my mother and I called my father. And by the time we got to my grandmother's house, my father was there already. So he stopped everything he was doing to be there for me. And what he said to me was, he said, Jesus is on the boat. So when he said that, what he meant was, like, if you know the Bible, he was talking about when Jesus and the disciples were traveling across the lake and there was this storm that occurred. So they're riding along like everything is great. And all of a sudden this storm came, and the storm was a mighty storm. This storm rocked the boat. The water was coming in the boat. I can just imagine being there on this boat. And so Jesus was at the bottom of the boat asleep. And so the disciples come down to him frantic, like, Jesus, don't you care what's going on with us? Like, don't you care? And so Jesus just looked up at him and said, oh, ye of little faith. And basically he calmed the storm. So what my father is telling me is, if Jesus is with you and Jesus is on your boat, you don't have to worry about the storms that will come in your life. Now, we will all have storms in our lives. That's going to happen. My storm at that time was a breast cancer diagnosis. Yours may be a loss due to COVID. It could be a job loss. It could be a wayward child. It could be anything, because we will always have storms. But as long as you have Jesus on your boat, you have to know that everything was going to be okay. Now, the other thing my dad said was, Sadie, you're going to be the spokesperson for breast cancer. And I'm just throwing that one out there for free, because it's so important to have people in your life that will pour in life to you and positivity. Now, that's a workshop for another time, but I just wanted to share that. Now, I told my sister circle what was going on with my diagnosis. And when I went back to work, I received an edible arrangement with this card that said, you've been assigned this mountain to show others that it can be moved. And I read that over and over and over, because when something happens in your life, there's a tendency to say, why me? You know, why is this happening to me? What did I do? Especially in my case, I didn't have a family history of breast cancer. It came like completely out of left field. And so when they gave me that card, it said to me, why not you? But you have an assignment now. You have been assigned this mountain, this storm, this journey, to show others that it can be moved. So I put that on my back, and I carried that as inspiration as I went through my healing journey. So when I went through my healing journey, that's what I called it, because I believed right away that I was healed. We had prayer, and I knew that now I just have to go through the process. I believed that God was going to put the right people in place, and I'm talking about the medical professionals. I would have everything that I needed, but I just needed to go through now this journey. So now I wanted to reflect on the blessings that come along with just everyday life, if that's what you're looking for. Joel Osteen says, when you focus on being a blessing, God makes sure that you are always blessed in abundance. So what happens is, in my lifetime, I planted seeds of love and support and encouragement. And so in my time of need, when the tables turned and now I'm the one sitting there, all of those blessings that I poured out came back in such amazing ways. So one, I had insurance. You don't realize the privilege of having good quality health insurance. And so I was able to get genetic testing and have the best doctors and service. Then the early detection, Gabby shared a little bit about her grandmother. I had annual mammograms from the time that I turned 40. I felt that it was important. I had insurance and you should do it. So early detection was a blessing. Prayer. I had people praying I was on prayer lines everywhere. People were praying for me that I didn't even know, that would see me and say, I've been praying for you. So there is power in prayer. There's also power in positivity. So I realized when I was going through my healing journey that I needed to be strong. You know, I needed to stay positive, because I had a lot of people looking at me, and I had a lot of people still counting on me and seeing how I was going to respond to respect and react to every situation. And so while some days it was harder than others, it was my goal to try to find something good in every situation that I went through throughout this time. And so the thing that I learned when I was diagnosed is that 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. That's what the statistics say. I didn't know that. And I didn't realize, all I knew is that I didn't really know anybody that had gone through this experience. But once I started sharing my story and talking to people, I found that there were way more women who have been impacted by breast cancer than I realized. And I started to sit down and talk to them to hear their stories. And, you know, and it really inspired me, because I'm like, wow, if you can still become and do and be this, having gone through and having had this diagnosis, then there's hope for me. There is hope for me yet. The other thing that happened, the other blessings that I received were these random acts of kindness. I know my mail carrier must have not known what was going on, because I'm telling you, I had to get a card every day. Something in the mail, a package, a card, a gift. The doorbell would ring, it would be a meal, it would be a gift. And the random acts of kindness really on those days that I struggled, they really helped uplift my spirits. And so it really began to shape what this purpose became for me. So it started off in 2018 when I was going through my healing journey, that I created these t-shirts. And the t-shirt, you'll see this is a sample behind me. And the message on the shirt said, "We believe God." Because what I wanted to create at that time was a collective belief and faith and prayer that God was going to heal me and take me through this healing journey. And so I probably sold over 200 shirts to family and friends who really wanted to support me and rally around my healing journey. And so that transition into my purpose. So each morning I would spend time meditating. I would spend time with God trying to figure out, what is it that you want me to do with this information? What is it that you want me to do with my story? And so the first thing I needed to do is I needed to deal with the pain that diagnosis caused me. And so on the 1-year anniversary of my diagnosis, I went downtown and I started Sadie Strong. Sadie Strong is a nonprofit organization whose mission is to promote the early detection of breast cancer and inspire healthy lifestyles for women, and particularly women of color in underserved communities in Buffalo. Because I know that for me, early detection was key. And I want that for other women. So if 1 in 8 women can possibly have this type of diagnosis, I want us to, one, catch it early. So I want us to get a mammogram every year. So if you're on this call and you're of age, or you have family members, encourage them to get their annual mammogram. They're free opportunities, as well as if you have insurance or not. But then also this healthy lifestyles piece was really important, because not only do we have issues with regards to the potential of a breast cancer diagnosis, but heart disease, diabetes, all those things that impact us as women, those things we can really help to minimize our risks by just taking care of our bodies more, exercising, eating right, drinking more water, doing things that can help reduce the stresses in our lives. Now, many of you are going on to medical school. You're going to have a level of stress that is beyond anything that you realize. Like, we're living through this pandemic right now, so you understand that a little bit. But just when your career is that stress is like your next door neighbor, you want to make sure that you have a lifestyle that helps you to reduce some of those things. So our vision became creating a world, and this evolved for me. Our vision evolved because it started off just wanting to inspire faith, hope, and love. But really, as I dove into who we are at Sadie Strong, we want to create a world where women take control of their health. What I know is, as a wife and a mother, is that a healthy wife and a healthy mother, a healthy woman, creates a healthy family. And we want to create healthy families. I want to be an example for my children. So some of the things that we were able to do with Sadie Strong in the first couple of years of our founding, in the first year, we started our website, we started our social media platforms, we hosted our first event. I was able to pull a board together because we started this process for the 501c3. And so you have to have a board. So I surrounded myself with these amazing people that created the Sadie Strong board. We had our first event, which was the celebration of healing. I'm going to show you a clip from that in a little bit. But we raised over $10,000 in our first event, which was amazing. So it was like a day party, prayer experience. It was like everything all wrapped up in one. I was asked to speak as a motivational speaker at the Champion Made Empowerment Conference here in Buffalo. I also spoke at at Elam Christian Fellowship for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We hosted a free health and wellness fair. This is in the first year, that had over 300 people and 26 tables, vendors that shared information in a variety of areas. We got in the first year, we got our 501c3 status from the IRS. So now we are an official charitable organization. In year two, the pandemic hit. So in 2020, we had all of these plans and partnerships. And so just like everybody else, just like this amazing program today, we had to reimagine our programs. And so we shifted into a virtual world where, excuse me, the allergies, where, so we had to revamp our website and our social media. And we created a blog series called Reflections. When someone you love gets breast cancer, because what you don't realize, and I think Gabby spoke to this a little bit as well, is that breast cancer in any diagnosis doesn't just impact the person that's on the receiving end of it, but it really impacts everybody that they love, everyone who's connected to them, and even people that see them afar. You know, social media, people think that they're really your friend based on what you post, but it does impact people. So I wanted to share those testimonies from people, because when you're going through it, you sometimes feel like you're the only one. But you know, that blog series was very helpful, and for me, it brought sunshine to my life. We also did a series of random acts of kindness. So we have Sadie Strong love boxes, and we did meal trains to women who were going through breast cancer treatments. We hosted a virtual prayer walk where we had people, we met here in Buffalo at Delaware Park. We had an amazing prayer. Then we had people that were walking, biking, running all across the country. They posted pictures and shared their pictures from that experience. And then we did a health and wellness fair virtually. So that was an amazing, amazing event. We had doctors that spoke to breast cancer and breast health, and even anxiety during a pandemic. So it was great. It also included a fitness class and a food class. So we've been doing a lot of things through Sadie Strong, and it's really been a tremendous blessing. So what I want to do quickly is I want to show you a snippet from the first celebration of healing. This video may drag just a little bit, but you'll get the gist of our first event. So let me play that for you. On October 30th, 2017, I received a phone call that shocked my world. I was told that I had breast cancer that spread to my lymph node. And then my sister circle sent me an edible arrangement that said, you have been assigned this mountain to show others that it can be moved. In the 1 year anniversary of my diagnosis, I went downtown and started Sadie Strong.
It is all about bringing awareness to women in the Buffalo area about early detection of breast cancer and the importance of breast cancer awareness. I want to thank Sharon Sanford for organizing this. She had a health challenge that she successfully came through. She is a real leader in this community.
You have been the biggest inspiration to everyone you have touched.
This celebration is about you. I love you so much. One of the strongest women I've ever seen.
I'm so excited to see everything you're going to do with Sadie Strong. I can't wait to be a part of that too.
Sadie Strong.
You are a very strong woman. You are just beautiful inside.
You shall live and not die. You speak that every day. You shall live and not die. Get checked. Early detection is key. Talk to the women in your life and encourage them to take care of themselves physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. And to God be the glory. So I want to give you an opportunity now. If you have any questions just about my story, we're going to talk a little bit more. We have other things to share, but I want to pause here for a minute in the chat. If you'd like to ask any questions right now, Dr. Sapp, if you see anything, I can't see the chat right now. But if there are any questions, they can feel free to add at any time.
Well, we don't have any questions, but we do have some comments. This is amazing, extremely encouraging. This is beautiful and inspiring video. Wow, this is so beautiful. Yes, I'm in tears. You shall live and not die.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. So that brings us here. We're gonna turn this over to the whiteboard now, because I want to now focus on pain and purpose. So this is your opportunity to just reflect a little bit about maybe some things in your life that have caused you pain. You know, things that you may have gone through that have caused you pain. And we're going to go to the whiteboard now. And if there are some things that you'd like to share that may have caused you pain, write it in the whiteboard now.
And the way that you get to the whiteboard is to go up on your share screening, go up to the top, click down view options, select annotate, and you'll have a bar come down and you can type. So it'll say text, you can draw, you can put a stamp on there. So go up to the top of your computer, your device, select view options, select annotate, and then that bar will drop down and you can write.
And if that's too hard for you and you need to just write it in the chat. Yeah, what things cause pain? Yeah, loss of parents.
I gotta.
Wow. Tragic events. Absolutely. Cancer. Rejection. That was in the chat. Wow. Health crisis. Any health issue creates a lot of pain. The lack of healthcare accessibility. Yes. Substance abuse in the family. Injustices of people of color. It hits us from all different directions. And you see it like crosses the gamut. Like it's not just mine this time just happened to be a diagnosis. It could be childhood situations. It could be abuse. It could be a variety of things that cause us pain. So what we're going to do, I'm going to go back now to share my screen. And some of the things added included traumatic experience, childhood experiences, and those things cause us pain in our life, and they're real. But you have to realize that the Bible teaches us in Isaiah 66:9, it says, "I will not cause pain without allowing something new to be born," says the Lord. So it really depends on what do you do with this pain? how do you manage this pain? How do you look at this pain and address it? So you want to deal with it because you want to see if there's a way that you can turn that pain into some sort of purpose. So what I want to do is I want to have you now in the chat, write out some things that that give you purpose. And Dr. Sapp, if you can share, because I can't see the chat now.
Will do.
What gives you purpose? I know for me, and it's going to change from different times in your life. My job gave me purpose.
Children, becoming a doctor that advocates for patients like me, working with students, my family. Any others? Any others? What gives you purpose? Talk to us. Talk to us. Working for healthcare transformation, inspiring women. What gives you purpose? Helping others find their purpose, friends.
Yeah. Mentoring, exercise. It could be anything. It's really personal. Like it becomes personal. Here are some things that I just put on education.
Struggles.
Yes.
Walking my dogs daily.
And those are the things, and we're going to talk a little bit in a while about that, because I want you to begin to tap into those things. So what is your story? So you heard a little bit about my story with Sadie Strong. Is there anyone on the call now that has, and we're talking about a brief, we don't have, a long amount of time, but if you want to share a little bit about your story, is there anyone on the call that wants to share a little bit about your story?
Can we stop sharing the screen so that we can see the gallery? There you go.
Not everybody has their
You want to share your story? Who wants to share?
Okay. Well, maybe we don't have anybody that wants to share. And maybe your story isn't, because I know Gabby shared a little bit when she did her introduction, and I thought that was very powerful. So what I want to do is I want to give you a little bit of homework. Okay. So I want to know how you will use your story for purpose. So we know that we all have experienced pain, and we may experience pain at any time. And so what I want you to do is take out a journal. I really believe in journaling. I think it's so important because it gives you an opportunity to release some of those things that you feel and write it down, and then go back and see how far you've come. So journaling for me is great. So I want you to take a list and write down some experiences that cause you pain. Now, you wrote down some of those things in the chat on the whiteboard, you shared that. But I also want you to write down a list of experiences that you may have caused others, because sometimes intentionally and unintentionally, we cause pain to other people. And in order for us to be able to move to a place where we can really fulfill our purpose and our passion, we need to address some of those things, and we need to forgive. We need to forgive ourselves. We need to forgive others. Sometimes we have to forgive God, because what happens is we carry this pain, sort of like the song that Erykah Badu had called Bag Lady. And she said, "Bag lady, you gonna hurt your back, dragging all those bags like that." And we take this pain from place to place, from relationship to relationship, from job to job, from geographic location to geographic location. We're carrying these painful experiences. So what I did with my painful experience, I turned that diagnosis into Sadie Strong. So when I think of October 30th, now it's not just that diagnosis. October 30th is the day that I started Sadie Strong. So that I took that pain away from that date. So we need to forgive ourselves so that we might be able to move past our pain into our purpose. It's a tougher lift to find that purpose when you're bogged down with the burdens of the pain. And that's not always an easy experience because certain pain doesn't go away. Like the pain of loss, that doesn't go away. It doesn't. You live with it. And you try each day to just be a little bit better. And you try to focus on the positives in those experiences. So the other piece to this of your homework that I'd like you to do is to, in your journal or wherever you write a list of the things that bring you joy or make you smile on the inside or give you pleasure. Because a lot of times those things can fall right into place with what your purpose can be. So for me with Sadie Strong, I utilized all of the positive experiences that I had when I was going through my healing journey. Everything, the way that people made me feel, I wanted to give that back. That gave me joy to think about how people thought enough about me to do some of the things that they did for me. And then, I wanted to say, okay, I want to give that back. So finding something, listing out those things that bring you joy and utilizing that as a component of eliminating some of the pain or creating your purpose. The other piece for me is gratitude, because I feel like if we are more thankful for the things that happen, I believe that if you focus more on what you don't have, then you always miss what you do. So focus on the good things that happen in your life. So keep a daily gratitude list, 3 to 5 things every day. You'll be surprised. You'll be surprised at how it makes you feel. And, there's no little thing and there's no huge thing. It could be like a kind word or someone called you or a call that you made. So keep that gratitude list. That will help you to begin to shape your story for purpose. So I want you all to work on that. And like I said before, it may change from time to time. So now I wanted to now move through and give you some reflections that I had as a breast cancer patient, because this is always something for me that I didn't know, because like I said, no one in my circle of influence that I knew went through this. The time between your diagnosis and the treatment, that's the worst. Like, I don't know, like the timing of things just is so challenging, because like you get the worst news that you've ever gotten, and you don't know how to even process it. I didn't know the terminology. So thank goodness I have a sorority sister who's a doctor, and I was able to call her to ask her, what does this mean? What does this mean for me? Who can I go to? Then I had to go through the series of finding a doctor. Choosing a doctor was challenging because you're putting your health in someone else's hands. So you all are striving to be doctors. You work in the medical field, you instruct doctors. These are some of the things that I looked for when I was choosing a doctor. Referrals were important. So I talked to my doctor sorority sister, and I know that with me working in higher education, if I needed to refer a student, I want to refer a student who has the same passion and care for students that I do. So I want to know who those people are. So excellent doctors, no other excellent doctors. So referrals are really important. To me, the medical and hospital affiliation was important. In Buffalo, we have the Roswell Park Cancer Institute, and it's an amazing cancer hospital that's world renowned. And I wanted to be connected there. And so when I researched doctors, I wanted them to have an affiliation with Roswell. And so I went online, I looked at images. You don't realize what people are looking at. I want to see a face that I can connect with. And I also looked at reviews, even though I know that a lot of times people just put negative things. Reviews are very, very important. So knowledge, communication style, bedside manner, and patience were all important in that. My biggest fear as a cancer patient was not dying, but it was really leaving my family, like not being there for my children and for the people that love me. And so that kind of like made me feel a certain way. Now, the most painful part for me, initially, I thought it was going to be chemotherapy, and really from a superficial manner, I didn't want to lose my eyebrows, and that sounds really ridiculous, but that to me made you look kind of like you weren't healthy. And so that was one of the most painful parts, but I didn't realize that what would end up being the most painful part happened to me at Christmas time. So I started my chemo treatments in December, on December 5th. And I had gone through two major treatments, and you know, everything was going fine, and I wasn't losing my hair or anything. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to be that one person. My hair is not going to fall out, but my doctor kept saying, yeah, it's going to fall out. It's going to fall out. So I'm preparing Christmas Eve dinner because I wanted things to be as normal for my children and family as possible. So I'm cooking Christmas Eve dinner, and I noticed that my hair was falling out a bit. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to ignore this because I need to be prepared. We decorated cookies. Christmas morning, we have to do our tradition. My kids meet at the top of the stairs. I videotaped them coming down. I got a Christmas hat on, but in the back of my mind, my hair is falling out and I'm kind of crumbling within. And because for me, when you lose your hair, the reality of cancer was just staring me in the face. And so I just did not want that. So I'm sitting at Christmas, after Christmas breakfast, and you know, I'm talking to my husband, and I said, you know, my hair is falling out. And he's looking at me and he's like, no, you look great. It looks great, you know, because he was always so encouraging. But in my heart, in my gut, I'm like, no, I'm not. So I sat there and I pulled a plug of hair out and showed it to him and just burst out crying. It was the most traumatic thing. And then I felt bad. I left and I went upstairs into the bathroom, and I'm just crying. And he comes up, and my kids come up and they rally around me. And he says, you know what? We're just going to cut your hair now. You don't have to worry about this. So he sat me down in the chair, and each one of them took turns cutting my hair bald. This is Christmas morning, and the doorbell rings, and my mother and brother come over. They didn't know what was going on, and they joined in. So as a support unit, they came and turned this challenging experience for me into something special and beautiful. So this is what I look like on Christmas morning after they cut my hair off. And so what I did is I said, you know what? I've been assigned this mountain to show others that it can be moved. So each morning before chemo, my sister circle would pray with me at 7 a.m. on Thursdays. We would pray. I learned how to tie my hair up with headscarves. Each day I went to chemo, I had a different headscarf tied around my head. I learned something new, because when life throws you lemons, you make lemonade. And that's what I did. And so each day it was an experience. Now, one of the most memorable experiences was when I rang the bell after my last chemo treatment. And I just wanted to share this video clip. I was surrounded by love. I had balloons. It was just, I was praising God. That walk was something.
Oh, I want to they all cry. They all cry when they get there. Bring it. Congratulations. They all cry when they get ready. It's emotional. It is. Oh. You did that. You did it. Yep. Did that.
So what I learned is that I'm surrounded by love and support. I'm stronger than I realized, and I have purpose. So I want to thank you all so much for allowing me to speak with you today and to share my story. I know that there is purpose in each one of you. I know that as you progress through your career, whether you're a medical student, that you are going to touch the lives of people in a special way. Just remember that you have purpose, and you have purpose beyond what you know, and you're stronger than you realize. If you have questions, if you want to send me an email, my email information is there. Please follow us on social media and visit our website. And God bless you all. God bless you and thank you. Dr. Sapp, thank you so much for this opportunity.
I'm trying to recover. Nothing but tears, nothing but tears. We have a small enough group here that we can have people open up their mic if they want to talk, if they don't want to put any comments in the chat. But let me just read some of the chat box. We have some time to do that. Amazing. I'm honored. Love this presentation. Thank you. Yes, I make a daily gratitude list and it really helps. One question that we have is, what is your advice for folks who may not have the amazing, wonderful support system that you have?
You know, that's really tough, because I did find that when you go through this process, you see women of different experiences and backgrounds. Some women were at chemo alone. It's really about finding a network, finding an organization. That's really why we created Sadie Strong. There are a lot of organizations like this out there, but you have to seek out churches. There are church groups. There are people that really want to help and support other women out there. It may be, if you don't naturally have that support group, it may be that you have to seek it. But one of the things for me is, I feel that it's important to begin to plant the seeds now. You plant the seeds when you don't need the harvest. The harvest comes in its due time. And so that experience is a nurturing, relationship building kind of experience. And it really reaps benefits and rewards. So there are people out there that want to help women.
Okay. Moving forward with the chat, still looking beautiful. Wow, wow, I'm crying. Happy tears for your powerful story. I'm so proud of you. Lovely clip, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You look so happy. Thank you so much for sharing your story and for inspiring us to turn our pain into purpose. We believe God. So beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Your journey sounds very similar to my husband's. He always kept a positive attitude and kept his faith. So happy that you are here to tell your story. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Absolutely inspiring. Yes, thanks for sharing your story. Very inspiring. My heart is full. Thank you for sharing with us just the encouragement I needed to hear. Thank you for sharing. Thank you so much for sharing your faith and powerful words with us. Great way to get through the day. God bless you. Thank you so much. Palms 30, you have changed my morning into dancing. Yes, I love that verse. Candy's Place for Wellness in Wilkes-Barre. That's a place that people can go for support.
It's a cancer resource center in Wilkes-Barre for both the person living with cancer as well as their family. And they offer a lot of services. And one of the things that I valued was the massage therapy pre-COVID.
Okay. And that was Dr. Jen Joyce, one of our faculty. Thank you so much for that, Dr. Joyce. Thank you so much, Mrs. Sharon, for sharing your amazing story. I admire your faith and your strength. I am so inspired. It was a pleasure being on that journey with her. She is the strongest person I know. It was a pleasure going on that journey with her. She is the strongest person I know. And that's all the comments. Does anyone want to open their mic and talk? For those folks who did not type a comment, anything, any questions? Mrs. Sanford is here. She's willing to talk. Any questions, any last thoughts or reflections?
Could I ask a question?
You sure can, Dr. Joyce, go ahead.
So I'm curious. I recently heard someone speak about, you know, the importance of a sense of spirituality, and her comment, not to a group of physicians, but was that, why is it that physicians or practitioners say, well, when everything else fails, then there's prayer? And I didn't know if you ran into somebody else, because this person's perspective, well, regardless of what happens, there's always prayer.
Absolutely. That's why I started off early. Prayer to me has to be the first option and not the last resort. I believe in the medical field. I believe in doctors. I know that the best doctors are the God-inspired doctors to me. And so I just pray that God would put the right doctors in my path, that God would put the right medical professionals in my path. It's a faith and it's a belief. And so to me, that has to be first. And it's personal. You know, I believe in science. I think that science is real. So I don't take anything away from that. But I also believe that a person who has faith will elevate their opportunity for recovery. Their process is different. Their outlook is different. And you'll see that in the care that they receive and that's given to them. And you'll see a different treatment that they receive versus someone who may not have that. So it's real to me. Mm-hmm. For those people who don't have it, I feel bad for them. But for me and my household, we following our faith. So thank you, Dr. Joyce.
You know, Mrs. Sanford, I shared yesterday, you know, my journey with fibroids. And, you know, when I was talking to my doctor, she recommended a hysterectomy. And I said, absolutely not. You know, she was like, well, you have 7 fibroids. Your uterus is going to be Swiss cheese. And I said to her, God can do something with Swiss cheese. He ain't going to be able to do nothing for me if you take my uterus away. So I'm rejecting that. And then she said, oh, I didn't know you were into faith. Absolutely, absolutely. And it kind of shifted our relationship for her to understand, if I woke up in that hospital and my uterus was gone, there were going to be some furniture moving around up in there. So we had a very clear understanding, because once you go under, if the decision is to save your life, they have to do the hysterectomy. I'm like, you do everything you can, but I want to wake up with a uterus, just so we clear. And so we had that talk, and we began to talk and, you know, sharing my faith with her. And it turned out when I went in, there was 32 fibroids that she had to take out. So I know it was Swiss cheese, but like I told her, God can do anything with Swiss cheese. He can't do nothing if you take it out.
You can make a mean sandwich.
Worked. Yeah. She really worked to save my uterus, and she did it. She did it. And I was very proud of her. I said, I believe in you because God is going to put you in my life. He putting the right doctor in my life to make the right decision. The science is there, but don't be mistaken. God has the will. You know, so really understanding that when you're dealing with healthcare professionals and letting them know what your faith is and what you believe, and also seeking out those individuals as well is very important. I'm not trying to fight with nobody about my body. I want to be clear, you know, so thank you so much. This was great. This was great. And thank you for having the courage to share your story with us. Very proud of your foundation and what you are doing to motivate others and give people hope, and to understand that they can turn their pain into purpose. Wonderful.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Thank you all.
So now we're gonna move on. You know, Mrs. Sanford, she gave you her information to get in contact with her. And so please feel free to do that. And we're going to go ahead and get back to our program. But I also wanted to share with you all that if you're interested, we have the mugs. Let me take this background off so you can see. We have the mugs, but we also have a book from Mrs. Morgan Williams Bryant. She was here for our opening ceremony. And so, you know, Mrs. Sanford was talking about a journal, and Mrs. Williams Bryant, she has this and she gave it to us to be able to raffle it, a champion's prayer journey, a 25-day faith journey. Dr. Jen Joyce won the first one. And so if you're interested in winning this one with the mug raffle, just put book next to it. And then I'll do a separate book raffle. But she did mail me 2 of these books to give away, and I'll bring them to you. I'm going to be on campus tomorrow, so let me know, because I'm trying to take care of everything tomorrow. So thank you so much. We're going to go ahead and go back to our PowerPoint. Thank you so much for that powerful story. Thank you. Did I close the PowerPoint, Lord? I think I did. Faith, can you start talking and get us together to close out?
Sure thing, Dr. Sapp. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Mrs. Sanford, thank you so much. You were so inspiring. You were so eloquent. You just really, really brought it home that we need to be in control of our health. We need to do things for others. Just absolutely amazing. We're gonna have a couple of events left. I believe we have one event this Friday, and then we're also gonna have another event next week, Tuesday. So if you could please join us for those, we'd greatly appreciate it. On the next slide, Dr. Sapp has the QR code. You can scan that in order to register for the events. Thank you, everybody. Once again, thank you, Mrs. Sanford. Thank you, everybody, for sharing your stories. Thank you, Dr. Sapp. And everybody take care and be safe.
Bye-bye.